Today's lesson's on families of graphs, which basically just compares every line to what's called the parent line or the original line. So here the parent graph is y equals x, f of x of course being interchangeable with y. All right, so here there are 5 choices when describing what happens to a line. A line can flip, i.e. the slope goes the opposite direction. A line can get more shallow. A line can get steeper. A line can move up the y-axis. The line can move down the y-axis. So here our parent graph is always going to be y equals x, and it's already graphed here for us. So this is y equals x. All right, and so now we're going to graph this function on the same graph, y equals x plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slope of 1. So what happens here? What happened to the parent graph when the line went up 5 units and the slope stayed the same? So you can see that they're parallel. And so now we're going to, again, the parent graph is y equals x. That's our starting point. But now we're changing it to y equals 2x. And this time we're going to do it in red. We're starting again. The b is still the origin. And we're going to count our slope, rise over run. And my line looks like this. So here, y is equal to 2x. We'll compare the parent graph y equals x to the new line of y equals 2x. And what happened? The line got steeper, but the y-intercept did not change. Of course, my graph's a little sloppy. It looks like it did, but it should go right through the origin there. So now, again, our parent graph is y equals x, and we want to graph y equals 1/2 x. So you can kind of think, what's going to happen here? So this time we're graphing it in blue. The origin is the same, and we're going to do 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 1 over 2, and our blue line, our y equals 1/2 x, looks like that. And what happened? The line got shallower because the slope changed, but it didn't go up or down. Our y-intercept stayed the same. So here on this one down here, our original graph is y equals x, and now we're going to graph y equals negative x minus 3. And do that in orange, negative 3, and the slope is now negative. So it's going to be rise over run, and it goes like this. So what happened from y equals x to y equals negative x minus 3? How could you describe what happened to the parent graph? Well, the line flipped, and the line moved down 3 units. So you see what's happening when we compare y equals x to our new line of y equals x minus 3. You see the differences that those make. So here are some ways to describe what happens to the line without graphing it. The line flips if the slope sign changes, which makes sense. It goes from positive to negative. The line gets more shallow or shallower if the slope decreases. It gets steeper if the slope increases, which makes sense when you think about how you count slope. Okay? The line moves up or down the y-axis if the y-intercept increases, and it moves down if the y-intercept decreases. So all those things should pretty much make sense. You just may not have ever thought about it like this before. So now we're going to describe what happens to our parent line, which in this case is going to be y equals x plus 1. What's going to happen when instead of x plus 1, it's x plus 3? Well, our slope stayed the same, so it's going to be parallel, but the line moves up 2 units. Okay, now if we take our parent and we go y equals negative x plus 1, the y-intercept stays the same, but the line flips. Here we have y equals 6x plus 1, so the y-intercept stayed the same, but the line gets steeper because our slope increased. And here you have 2 things happening. instead of y equals x plus 1, we're at y equals negative 1/2 x minus 4. So there's actually three things happening. So the line flips because it now is negative. The line gets shallower. And it moves down 5 units. When you go from plus 1 to negative 4, you're moving down 5 units. And here, y equals 3/2 x from y equals x plus 1. Okay, the line originally was a slope of 1. Now it's 1.5. So the line gets steeper. And it moves down 1 from plus 1 to the origin. 1 unit. So hopefully you see how this is working. All right, so now let's go the other way. My original parent graph here is y equals 2x plus 3. So if we want to move my graph up 7 units, slope stays the same. We just go 7 plus 3. So y is equal to 2x plus 10. Now, instead of a slope of 2, I want to make it to a negative 1. Y is equal to negative 1x plus 3. Remember, we always go back to the parent graph. Now we want to give our line a slope of 5. So instead of 2, it's a 5. And we want to move it down 5. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2. To flip the graph, keeping the same y-intercept, y is equal to negative 2x plus 3. And last but not least, to flip the graph and move it down 20 units, y is equal to negative 2x, 3 minus 20, negative 17. So you see how that works. That's the end of it. We'll practice more of this in class. Make sure you take good notes. Thanks.